welcome, dear friends. This is Lit City, the YouTube channel which always tries to bring the best material for your preparation of NET exam. And we are once again back with our series Questions That Matter, in which we discuss some very exciting, important, relevant questions that are bound to come into your paper. And today we have brought some miscellaneous questions across many topics that are very important. So here is our first question, dear friends. The Great Fire of London. It adopted Little Dorrit as the subtext as a cast of characters tries unsuccessfully to reenact Dickens' novel. Who is the novelist of this postmodernist novel? Dear friends, what this basically question wants to say that Little Dorrit by Charles Dickens, it becomes the subtext, or we can say the background text, and the other events and incidents are woven around the plot and the making of Little Dorrit. So who is the writer of this novel, The Great Fire of London? Our options are Douglas Adams, or is it Thomas Pynchon, or is it Peter Ackroyd? And the last option is Philip K. Dick. All these writers, there is no point in saying that they belong to the postmodernist tradition. And the correct answer, dear friends, for this question is Peter Ackroyd. Dear friends, The Great Fire of London, this novel is set in contemporary London, where the filmmaker Spencer Spender, please pay attention on the name itself. The name is consisted of two great poets, Spencer and Stephen Spender. This filmmaker is trying to get finance for his film of Little Dorrit and to set in a real prison. Once again, there is, we can say, a reference to the Marshalsea prison, in which Little Dorrit is set. And the main characters, other than Spencer Spender, are Rowan Phillips, who is a Cambridge Don working on Dickens, and Audrey Skelton. She is a telephone operator who is possessed by the spirit of Little Dorrit during a seance. There is a ghost scene in which many characters from the original novel appears. Okay. Our second question, dear friend, is the famous character Willy Wonka. It has become a sort of cultural artifact. Willy Wonka, this character first appears in Alice in the Wonderland, Watership Down, The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, or Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Dear friend, all of these four novels belong to the young adult fantasy fiction. These novels mix real and fantasy worlds. There are, we can say, intermingling of human and animal with both behave in the similar fashion. Now, Willy Wonka, it is one of the, we can say, most popular character of 20th century among the kids. And the correct answer for this is Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Dear friends, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory is a very popular work by Roald Dahl. And then we have other writers like The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, which is part of the Narnia series, Chronicles of Narnia, written by C.S. Lewis. Then Richard Adams, who basically wrote this fantasy novel based on lives of Rabbit, Watership Down. And there is no need to mention about Lewis Carroll, all-time classic Alice in Wonderland. Question number 3 tells who wrote under the pseudonym of Clemence Dane and novels dealing with war, feminism and sexuality, and among these works the most famous was Regiment of Women. So you have to tell the name of the writer who wrote under the name of Clemence Dane. First option is Winifred Ashton. Then we have Rhys Davis. Then we have Alice Hastings Bradley. And last one is Violet Pidgeot. An interesting fact I would like to throw here is that all these writers wrote under pseudonyms. Some of them were quite famous, some not so much like others. But in this particular question, we are talking about Clemens Danes, and the correct answer for this is Winifred Ashton. Dear friends, she was an English novelist and playwright, and she also wrote under her real name Winifred Ashton. She was also an actor and acted under the name Diana Curtis. Her first novel, Regiment of Women, it is about life at girls' school. It met with critical acclaim. Her first play, A Bill of Divorcement, dealt with the issues of divorce on the grounds of insanity. Once again, it was quite a popular work. Which among these is a modern verse drama written in the style of medieval miracle plays and celebrating the life of British Saint Cuthman? So you have to guess the name of this particular play. The options are The God of Quiet by John Drinkwater, The Crier by Night by Gordon Bottomley, The Boy with the Card by Christopher Fry, and Five Gold Rings by Joanna Lawrence. Dear friends, in the 20th century, especially in the first 2 or 3 decades, there was a revival of poetic drama or verse drama. John Drinkwater, Gordon Bottomley, they were, we can say, the initiators, and later Christopher Fry, T.S. Eliot, and Joanna Lawrence, they contributed much to popularize the verse drama for a limited time. This particular play, which is based on the setting and the conventions of miracle play, and which is based on the life of the British Saint Cuthman, it is actually The Boy with the Cart by Christopher Fry. Christopher Fry, English poet and playwright, best known for his verse drama, and most popular among them is Ladies Not for Burning and Venus Observed. In 1938, a Sussex vicar asked him to write a play celebrating the local Saint Cuthman, and somewhat strangely pushed his mother from Cornwall in a handcart. And the result of this particular inspiration was this play, The Boy with a Cart. Our next question, dear friend, is who is the writer of novels like Confessions of a Thug and Tipu Sultan, which chronicled the history of India from the 17th century to the colonial era? So this writer was very much interested into, we can say, Oriental tales of India. He was an administrator basically. Is it Philip Meadows Taylor, J. Drew Gay, Fanny Parks, and George Franklin Atkinson? Dear friends, I must say to you that all these writers have written or contributed something about their experiences of India, and they have written tales of exotic India. This particular writer who wrote this very, very popular Confession of a Thug, it was based on his research on that particular section of India, the thugs. And the right answer, dear friend, is Philip Meadows Taylor. It is considered as first Indo-Anglican fiction written by British on the topic of India. Taylor worked actually as an administrator in the service of the Nizam of Hyderabad. In 1840, he published the first of his Indian novels, Confession of a Thug. And his another work, Sita, it portrayed a marriage between a British civil servant and a Hindu widow just before the Indian Mutiny. So you can say his deep interest into Indian characters and Indian milieu. This famous essay is written in form of dialogue between two characters, Cyril and Vivian, and actually promotes romanticism over realism. So actually, essay is written to defend the spirit of romanticism and to question, we can say, the dry realism. And now, who is the writer of this essay? What is the name of this essay? Is it The Decay of Lying, On the Decay of the Art of Lying, The Critic as Artist, or The Poet? All these are very well acclaimed essays of criticism about the art of writing. And the right answer, dear friend, is The Decay of Life. Actually, The Decay of Life is an essay written by Oscar Wilde, and so is The Artist as Critic. This is also written by Oscar Wilde. While from examination point of view, please remember the difference between these two very similar looking titles. The Decay of Life by Oscar Wilde, while On the Decay of the Art of Lying is by the American humorist and writer Mark Twain. And also the poet, it is written by Ralph Waldo Emerson. Our next question, dear friend, is which famous writer published articles under the pseudonym Parcel Lot in Politics for the People, a journal of Christian Socialist? This is basically one of those writers who was not only a famous novelist, but he was also very much talked about for his views regarding religion and society. Our options are John Malcolm Ludlow, H.G. Wells, Charles Kingsley, or John Cable. If you have gone through the history of English literature and also the social history of English literature, social history of England, you must be very much aware of these names. They all have contributed in the field of literature as well as in the field of social and religious criticism. Dear friend, it was Charles Kingsley who wrote this particular controversial essay, Politics for the People. Actually, dear friends, Christian socialism was a movement of the mid-19th century. It attempted to apply the social principle of Christianity to modern industrial life. So it was a sort of, we can say, Reformation movement. Christian socialism, it was first appropriated by the group of British men, and these include Frederick Denison Morris and novelist Charles Kingsley, John Malcolm Ludlow. Our next question, Breaking a Butterfly by Henry Arthur Jones is the first English adaptation of famous European play. Now you have to tell the name of this play. Is it Hernani? Is it A Doll's House? Or Le Demi-Monde? Or Miss Julie? All these are European plays, and you have to find out Breaking a Butterfly, which among these play is basically original for this translation. The right answer is Ibsen's A Doll's House. Hernani was a very popular and critically acclaimed play by Victor Hugo. A Doll's House, we all know that it is considered to be one of the prototype of modern drama and problem play by Henrik Ibsen. Alexander Dumas, he wrote The Demi-Monde, and August Strindberg, he wrote Miss Julie. The Idle Thoughts of an Idle Fellow. It comprises 14 humorous essays on such subjects as on being hard up, on being in love, on being idle. So these are some topics, some subjects on which this particular writer has written some very humorous essay. Is it P.G. Wodehouse, Niall Coward, Dorothy Parker, or Jerome K. Jerome? All these are very well-known, internationally famous humorists. The right answer, dear friend, is P.G. Wodehouse. Right answer is Jerome K. Jerome. Jerome K. Jerome, he has written Idle Thoughts of an Idle Fellow. P.G. Wodehouse, he is famous for his Jeeves series, while Niall Coward, he has written dining room comedies like Hay Fever, and Dorothy Parker, she is famous for her Constant Reader. Jerome K. Jerome has also written another very, we can say, humorous and famous popular book, Three Men in a Boat. There seems to be some technical glitch. Okay. Let's finish this session with this particular question. Because of this technical glitch, we are not able to complete, but we will carry forward in our coming videos. I hope you will support as always. Thank you, dear friends.